How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
We had another action-packed week, Will.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane.
I mean, we had the Canelo fight on last night, which was very entertaining. We had UFC 268. Before we get rolling into it, though, my name's Romero. This is Will. In the background, ignoring us when we talk about fights, is Richard Casual, our producer. But yeah, if you like any of our content, please like, subscribe, right? Follow us on Spotify, Breaker Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast. Pretty much anywhere podcasts are found.
Everywhere. Yeah. And then at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter. And then we have the Facebook group chat, Story of the Fight chat. Otherwise, we're here live Sunday mornings.
Yes.
Usually 9 a.m.
Some listeners would call it the MMA church.
Some do.
Some do. But, dude, we got to get right into it because we're on a time crunch
we got
here.
a lot to go through.
So much to cover. I want to catch up with you and see how your week was. But you know what? I just want to see how your night was last night because this card was absolutely stacked from top to bottom. Yeah,
I mean, going into it, we knew, right? It's one of those things that sometimes cards look incredible on paper, but then like they don't quite deliver right, and then vice versa. This was one of those rare occasions where like on paper, it was like, okay, this is going to be insane, and it absolutely was. Yeah. I think going into the main card, or the main card, I think it was 6 knockouts in a row.
Dude, just an amazing night. And, you know, you're absolutely right. Sometimes you look at a card and you're like, God, I hope this delivers. But they put so many, like, can't miss fights on here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't look away.
And we'll start with the main event.
We'll start top to bottom, yeah. Shout out HLB Comer. Welcome.
Welcome, HLBK Omer. But we'll start off with Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. Now, dude, you know who I had picked going into this.
And you know who I had picked. We should have made that bet. Was this the one we were going to make a bet on?
I don't remember.
Or was that Tommy Fury versus Paul? I don't know.
Tommy Fury versus Paul. It was Tommy Fury versus Paul. We'll place a bet on that one. But I had the All-American hero, Colby Covington, winning this fight by decision. Didn't quite go my way.
How about this? If you go back, my pick was Kamaru finishes them in 2. And it was this close. This close in the second round. I was like, holy shit. Now,
the thing that stood out to me the most, because I remember you saying, what has Colby done in the last 2 years to show that he's gotten better to have a chance to beat Kamaru Usman? And you know what? I didn't have an answer. So all I said was be an American hero. But in all reality, you take a look at the improvements that Usman has made, right? Since being with Trevor Whitman, he's had 2 years. His striking has looked phenomenal. Since his fight with Colby, who has he beat?
Yeah.
Gilbert Burns finished him.
Yeah.
Masvidal finished him.
Yeah, with strikes.
His striking is getting so much better.
Yeah, with strikes early.
The one thing I did notice is that he was headhunting a lot more because I think he really wanted to put Colby out too.
Yeah. I think once he started having the success that he was having in the first couple rounds, especially the second, obviously, he kind of started, and he talked about how he didn't want to go into that like berserker mode and chase the finish, but he still kind of did, you know?
Yep.
I think Colby in those first couple rounds really, really respected Kamaru's striking improvements. Like he recognized him, right? Like he knows that he's hitting hard as hell. His technique is flawless. He was very hesitant to get in there and like mix it up with him. Started mixing in the wrestling. Didn't really work for him. But it's different than their first fight, right? Then I think once he kind of took his best shots, especially after that second round, I mean, it was close, right? That second round, they could have.
I mean, he almost had him, man.
Yeah, it was very close.
Maybe another 30 seconds to that round, it might have been over.
Yeah, but I think after that, Colby kind of started to be more willing to trade with him, and he kind of hurt him a couple times, and that kind of made Kamaru kind of respect him a little bit more. And
hey, let's wait on that picture right there, Rich.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, after that second round, I was like, well, this is it. This is a wrap, you know? And Colby, man, say what you will about his persona and his shit talking stuff like that. The dude is tough as nails. I mean,
tough as nails.
He hurt Usman.
He's one of the best fighters not just in that division, but in the UFC.
I think it's another one of those situations where, I mean, it's funny that he said it, but he said it about Usman, but it's a reality for him, unfortunately. But he is the champ outside of Usman. If Usman's not there, Colby is the champ. I think he beats pretty much everybody else on the list. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately for him, Usman is there. And, I mean, this doesn't happen a third time, I don't think.
Yep.
At least not for a while.
If you could bring up that last picture there, Rich. But this, everybody that knows Colby personally, that has spoken about Colby, always say he's a different guy outside of the octagon. But
except for Dustin Poirier, Masvidal.
Well, no. Joanna. So I guess everybody with an ATT, right? But people that have gone to interview him and and talk to him on a personal level, say like he's a totally different person. But as soon as the lights go on, and I think part of the issues that have happened with those folks in ATT is that when he's in this persona, right, when he's full flesh Colby Covington UFC fighter, he starts talking shit about the Masvidal, starts talking shit about the Joannas, starts talking shit about everybody in the gym. So when he walks into the gym,
personally,
whether he wants to or not, it carries over with him because those people don't have a persona on. You do.
Yeah.
And they're like, keep my name out of your mouth. You're in the same gym. I don't want you here anymore. So it turns into all this beef, right? Mm-hmm. But for me, it was very, very nice to see this embrace at the very end. So much so to the point where I believe who was it? It wasn't Goddard. It was Mazzagatti. No, not Mazzagatti. Sorry.
Murgliata.
When Murgliata was like, all right, y'all can kiss and make up later. And broke him up. You know what I mean? But this was really good to see. I think it was good for the sport, and good for all the folks that absolutely despise Colby to see like, hey, this guy's also human at the end of the day.
Well, I think this is also him. This doesn't happen without him accepting the fact that Usman is just better, Because if this is basically him conceding to saying, I'm
second best.
This rivalry is pointless now. I don't have to angle for the third fight. You've now beat me twice in long fights, definitive fights, right? Close, right, at moments, but the end results are definitive wins for Usman. This is him kind of saying, there's no point to me being this character for you anymore,
Yep.
It's accepting that fact.
Yep, but it was a very entertaining fight. Definitely fourth and fifth round were more entertaining than the first three, but it was a very good fight. The
second round was very entertaining.
Well, yeah, for you. For me, I was like, no, Colby. Colby, no.
Not like this. But also, was it the third or the fourth? I think it was probably the fourth that Colby really, really hurt Usman with 1 second left. It was, if there was 20 more seconds, it might have been a completely different night. But there wasn't, right? But still,
there's
very
mutual
close.
Respect there. Mutual respect. Kamaru says he's one of the toughest guys he's ever fought. He's a great fighter. And no, dude, I just enjoyed it. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah. Great main event. Yeah,
Dean Thomas called it earlier in the Gaethje Chandler fight that Gaethje was doing a fantastic job of using the overhand right to set up Chandler to duck away, and that opened up the uppercut. And the same exact thing happened here. Colby was throwing the overhand the whole fight, and Kamaru would after a few rounds, every time the overhand would come, he'd dip down and start hooking himself. And then eventually that became a tendency, and Colby started throwing that uppercut, same exact thing that Dean Thomas said earlier in the night. And that's what was hurting him. So, I mean, just so high level from both of them, the adjustments being made. And Usman's takedown defense, his grappling is fucking crazy.
Yeah. That was nice
when
to
he
see
reversed
too.
him. That deep takedown Colby got on him. He had to accept it, right? He couldn't sprawl.
He had that
rolls through it.
That Uno reverse card in his back pocket. He just threw it out as soon as he was taken down. All right, man. Do you have anything else on that fight?
No. I mean, I'm glad that it's over. Obviously, I said going into it doesn't really need to happen, but it was going to be entertaining no matter what, and it was. Very happy.
Yes.
We got Ric Flair in here.
Ooh.
I heard Trump won on Colby's also.
Oh, that's hilarious. Before that we had
I actually agree. I agree here. Colby's corner was not great throughout the whole fight. Just telling him stuff that I don't know. If they know the fighter, it's one of those things, right?
If Ric Flair, look at that. Woo!
Yeah.
Classic. All right. Before that, we had Rose Namajunas versus Zhang Weili. Now, we said this fight's probably going to end up being different from the first fight, right?
There's no way it was going to repeat, right?
No, and this was a dogfight, man. How'd you have this one? We'll start off with that.
Yeah, because I know this one's very controversial. There's people saying robbery. It can't be a robbery when the fight's this close. I had Zhang Weili winning the first round. Thug Rose. Oh, really quick. No 10-8 rounds for the second round of the Usman-Covington fight. Not one 10-8 round. Dropped him twice. Scored it the same as the third round, which was very close. Whatever.
Yeah.
But this one I had Zhang Weili winning round 1. I had Thug Rose winning round 2. I had Zhang Weili winning round 3, and I had Thug Rose 4 and 5.
Nice. I don't remember exactly what rounds I scored for who, but I just remember at the end of the fight thinking Rose took this 3-2.
Yeah, that's what I had. So very close though. It was a
very close fight. Some heavy exchanges. Zhang Weili has shown before that she has so much power for her division, and she knocked Rose on her ass. And one of my concerns, and I know that we've gone through this before with Rose Namajunas with her headspace, right? And so when she got knocked down and when she was walking back to her corner, I was just thinking, how is she going to react to this? How is she going to bounce back? Right.
And you see great corner work from them. The way because they know that too, right? So every round they're telling, fantastic job. Stay calm. You're good. Beautiful work out there. Like just that positive reinforcement, right? And shout out Ric Flair, the La Quinta. We will get to that soon. We definitely going to talk about that fight.
Hey, who was that coach recently that was catching a lot of heat for
Aspen Ladd's boyfriend, right?
Throw him in the corner for Rose Namajunas and see how it goes.
Not a good mix.
You know what I mean? So that's a perfect example of knowing your fighter. And sometimes there's just like a perfect marriage between trainer and fighter.
Literally.
And right. With Pat Barry. But then also when you take a look at the work that Trevor Whitman does with him, it's just a perfect team.
3-0
Rose
on the night.
What a night. Yeah. We're talking about all the people that won tonight. You know who else won? Trevor Whitman.
Yeah. Trevor Whitman.
Just fantastic showing, man. Fantastic showing. But Zhang Weili, nothing to hang her head on.
No, man. Very close fight, dude. Very close fight. Just two champions, really. I mean, both of them, anytime there was space on the ground, no matter who was on their back, anytime there was space created, just the absolute tenacity to try to for the up kicks and all that shit, right, to get back up to their feet. Fantastic job from both of them. I thought Rose was landing a lot more than people think she was landing. There's a lot of stuff got glossed over when she was landing. I think she did a really good job of being in and out and landing a lot of
the heavier shots were landed by Zhang Weili.
Correct.
And I think that's why people are more focused on the strikes from Zhang Weili's side.
Definitely.
Right.
I think Rose's hands though, dude, so good. They're so good.
And I love the way she comes up, palms to the air, just kind of making Zhang Weili think, right, before she strikes.
About the timing on the takedown in the 5th round? Holy shit, dude. And just goes straight through her. And they were saying that she wasn't really landing a lot of shots on top, but dude, once she kind of stacked her and was landing long punches from the standing guard, dude, those were nasty. Those were super nasty. I see a lot of people commenting saying but she didn't really do anything with the top control. I disagree. I mean, come on.
Oh man, yeah,
that's something.
Poor Zhang Weili, yeah. All right, anything else on this fight?
I hope Rose fights Carla Esparza next. Zhang Weili, I'm not sure what they do with her next.
Give me Joanna rematch.
The problem is what happens if whoever wins that fight.
Wins,
if they do that rematch, maybe the winner of that fight's Marina Rodriguez. I don't know, but I love that division.
Nice.
Yeah,
you've always said that it's one of your favorite divisions in the UFC. So
yeah,
if not
so much talent,
the favorite.
It's probably still my favorite. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Before that was my heartbreak. Marlon Vera versus Frankie Edgar.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know. This was a tough one.
Dude, I wrote an essay about Frankie Edgar back in 2012.
I feel like you say that every week. You write it. All your essays in school were all about fighters.
Dude, I didn't do schoolwork unless it was something I was passionate about. So any opportunity I could to make it something that I would want to do.
Your teachers probably knew the UFC roster like up and down just from all your your essays.
Yeah,
that's so funny. But so I picked Frankie Edgar going into this one, right? And I know that he was the underdog. I want to say it was like plus 135 or something like that.
I think that's what it was.
But shout out to Erica, my buddy Jermaine had us over yesterday, and we're watching fights. And he said, "Man, I got Marlon Vera," and he pointed out the fact Edgar has lost twice in a row. He's both of them to bad knockouts. He's up there in age now. He's probably going to get knocked out again, right? It happens. And he said, you know what he told me? And he opened up my eyes. He said, Romero, you make picks so much with your heart.
Oh,
I said, damn it, I do.
Yeah, 100%.
Damn it, I do.
Dude, on paper, Cheeto definitely wins this fight. And you know why I know that I picked Frankie with my heart and not with my mind? Because after this first round, when Frankie Edgar did this for the whole round, the same way he did to Yair Rodriguez, I was, at the end of the round, thankful, surprised, and hopeful that it was going to continue. But in the back of my mind, when the second round started and the live odds came up, and now Cheeto was the underdog, he was like, it switched. I was like, kind of want to bet money on Cheeto.
Good time to bet. Good time to bet.
Now that it switched because I don't think Frankie's going to be able to do that. And Cheeto, man, fantastic game plan, dude. He always kind of takes the first round off.
Richard Casual, post on the chat. Press 1 in the chat if you pick with your mind. 2 if you pick with your heart, like Romero. I'm just hitting 2 over and over again.
But
man, it's tough.
Yeah, and Cheeto, dude, fantastic game plan with the teep kick to the body, the front kick to the body, just kept going to it over and over and over, and then went high. And it's the same thing, John Jones against Dana Cormier. It happens all the time, right? Shevchenko to Jessica Ai. The up kicks
were
Cheeto,
nasty.
Frankie's always been susceptible to up kicks. I remember he ate a clean one from Benson Henderson in one of their fights.
Look at where his hips are.
Yeah.
Look at where his hips are.
Yeah. Yeah, not ideal for Frankie.
Right, so
pretty ideal.
Not ideal for Frankie. Perfect for those up kicks. But those kind of reminded me there of Nico Price up kicks on James Vick.
And the work from Cheeto off his back, the elbows. Oh my God, dude. Those like it reminds me of Diego Sanchez versus Clay Guida. Remember that one?
Yeah. Yep. That was a great fight.
Fantastic.
But I'm always going to be a Frankie Edgar fan, man. And the reality is, though, now he's been knocked out 3 fights in a row. And
flying knee to this one.
While I think this is more of a natural weight for him to fight at 135, he doesn't look the same.
Well, I mean, he's been doing it since.
No, I know. But even when he was coming in as a featherweight, right?
Yeah.
He just looked healthier. And again, maybe it's just Father Time that just in like a couple of years said, hey, I'm knocking.
I think it's that, man.
But also like he didn't seem as healthy coming into this fight, man.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, it's absolute. I mean, look at that.
Oh
shot,
my dude.
He looks like he turned him into one of the barbarians that ride the gondolas at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk.
Dude, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Really?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't know if Richard Cadwell can find a picture of that. Probably not, but that'd be really hard to find. But that's exactly what I was going to say. That's devastating.
Yeah, you hate to see it, man.
And fantastic performing by Cheeto. You know, after coming out of the first round, you could see Edgar was a little more gassed. Cheeto was still fresh, and he did such a good job in the scrambles after that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what Cheeto does, man. He takes that first round off, kind of. They always talk about how much of a slow starter he is. Yeah, that's what got me really worried. And then they showed the live odds, and I was like, God, I should have just done it, man. Hindsight.
Hey, YOLO, dude. But this is one of those fights going in where you just really like both of the fighters. And you're like, one of them's gonna have to lose.
Yeah, Frankie, man,
that sucks.
One of my all-time favorites.
A lot of people's all-time favorite, man. We'll move on. So this fight, Shane Burgos versus Billy the Kid Quarantillo.
We're just going to keep calling him that.
I'm just going to keep on calling him Billy the Kid so that when he finally names himself Billy the Kid Quarantillo, everybody can look back to the story of the fight years ago and say, that's where it started.
That's where it started.
But this was a fantastic fight.
Dude,
insane output. Insane output from both of these guys.
I think it was over 700 strikes combined thrown.
Yeah. Yep. Before this, we were talking about the fact that you said any other night, this would have been fight of the night, maybe fight of the year.
Yeah.
And I told you remind me a lot of my buddy Jermaine, because going in, he said, "Hey, this is the fight. It's going to be fight of the night." That's how he talks. It's going to be fight of the night. Everybody's talking about all these other fights. Burgos versus Quarantillo is going to be fight of the night.
Yeah.
And any other night, for sure,
it would have
been fight of the night.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see Burgos bounce back the way he did after that scary loss, his last loss.
That was scary, man.
It was a very scary one. It's probably the most delayed TKO
headshot
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yep. But he looked really good, man. Very patient, and he sat back a little too much for my liking. But at the end of the day, he ended up winning, right? But it looked like he was waiting to counter a little bit more in the beginning and started letting him go a little bit more as the fight progressed.
Yeah, he just it took him a while to figure out the jab that Billy was throwing his way. I mean, they just kept.
What was that?
Damn, bro.
I guess.
Flight week down there or something?
I guess, man. I don't know.
Damn.
Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, I think he was just stuck on the jab. He just couldn't get past it. I mean, look at that shot, dude. Complete. But to his credit, Burgos rolls with shots better than most. You know, like in the UFC right now, he's in the top 10 of guys that roll with shots well. Izzy's up there. John Jones is probably number 1. Some people really roll with shots well, and Burgos does. And his like
Bobby Green, we're gonna be talking about him later. Somebody else that rolls with shots really, really well.
Really well. But yeah, I mean, Burgos, it just took him a while to kind of figure out the puzzle. The dude's a fucking dog.
Was he licking his shoulder to try to gauge distance, or in this picture? It's a little weird. No, but yeah, it was a great fight, man. Props to Billy Quarantillo and Shane Burgos. They put an absolute monster performance on for everybody. And the thing is that the fight before this one, everybody's like, how are we going to follow up with this fight? Like, and then boom, Burgos versus Quarantillo.
It's crazy because the crowd was like silent. It reminded me of Pride, kind of, where it was just like a silent crowd during this fight. It was crazy because I think everybody was just completely drained after watching the fight that happened before this. I just want to give Billy the shout out for completely killing his left foot in that third round and continuing to push the pace and pressure fight, even though he couldn't even lift his foot off the ground. It was like he would try every set that he would take, his foot would still drag, kind of, you know.
Did Burgos get eye poked? Was it in the third round?
I believe so.
And then, like, I noticed when he said, "All right, fight," and Quarantillo tried to walk back towards Burgos, he had like a little bit of a trip because his like the front of his foot kind of like up. Yeah. So it was tough to see, man. But again, tough as nails.
Yeah, it's super tough. Great fight though.
Great fight. All right, so it was no nonsense. Keith Peterson, that was the ref there. My bad. Yeah. Leading up to this fight, so we've already mentioned this other fight a few times already. I said I'm over at my friend's house. Erica was sitting there, and she says, "My watch just notified me that my heart rate went up."
Really?
Dude, yes, I'm telling you, just the excitement, the pace. You're sitting on pins and needles because at any point in time, one of the guys can knock the other one out, and they promised a war going into this.
It's one of those fights that, like, they're gonna say that, right? And usually when the people say that, they're gun shy. That was never gonna happen with this one. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, just exactly what everybody hoped, expected. It just complete fantastic fight. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I would call this just one of those fights that's a slam dunk for the UFC.
Yeah.
No, like you just put this one on paper and everybody just automatically knows, you know what? This is going to be a great fight. And it absolutely delivered. Now, it was a little wild in the beginning.
Yeah.
But as they started getting settled down, right, I want to say like halfway through the second, you see that Gaethje started sitting back a little bit more, and started picking shots just a bit more. So I don't know what Trevor Whitman told him in the corner, because on my end when I was watching it, I didn't see it. Did you get to listen to any of the corner work?
No. How did you score it?
I had it 2-1, 29-28, Gaethje.
Yeah, I had Chandler taking the first.
Yep.
Dude, his first rounds he's one of the scariest first round fighters in the UFC.
So much power thrown into everything.
Dude, and the way he closes distance, and you could tell Gaethje had an issue with the range at first because he was so far away. And you think normally a smaller fighter wants to be in tight, but the way he can dart in, land his shots, and then he's way out of even kicking range. Gaethje was like swinging and missing every time he was coming in. It just looked like he couldn't time him at all. Finally, he could, right? But I mean, he had trouble.
Feel like he has such a good frame for MMA because he's small, compact, but he has long arms, man.
Yeah, he really does.
You know, so he's still able to have that long reach, like you see right now in the picture that Richard Casual put up right now, where he can still maintain somewhat of a distance.
Hold on, this is the moment. I think this is the moment. Looking at Mike Beltran, where Gaethje gets eye poked, and he steps away. Mike Beltran starts to call timeout, and then he switches to saying, "No, it was a punch," and Gaethje's already walking away, like thinking that he called time. And Chandler lands a clean right hand on him, super clean. And then he's like, wait. Maybe we need to stop. And it was bizarre. You good?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck that was, dude. I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on right
now. Chaos, just like this fight. But I mean, that uppercut that Gaethje lands to drop him in the second, how tough is fucking Michael Chandler? Dude, like,
both
people don't take Gaethje punches like that. They don't.
Both of these guys, man, because there were so many times where Gaethje was on wobbly legs.
Yeah.
Wobbly legs. And where a lot of other people would have curled up, you know, and just sat up against the cage. This guy's swinging back.
Throwing leg kicks in the pocket.
Which when you're Chandler, right, and you're like, this is my opportunity to finish this guy. I'm going in for the kill. And you're like, oh, shit. I got a huge right hook coming my way right now. Guy's leg kicking me my calf right now. Like, what's going on? Dude, it's just, man, fight of the year?
Recency bias, yes. It's going to be tough. I don't know. I have to think about it more. We'll do it like an end of year episode, but right now, in my mind, probably.
Dude, so good. So good. So Dana puts you in charge of figuring out what to do with this 155 division. What do you do next?
Shit. This fucking the takedown from Chandler was insane.
Yeah. Hey, did he hurt his wrist after that takedown too? Did you notice that?
Yeah, maybe.
He slams him down, and the way that his wrist ends up on the mat is folded down and it slides. Yeah. And after that, if you notice, the output went down significantly from Chandler.
I've done that, dude, in jiu-jitsu, and it fucking hurts. It hurts so bad. And how about in the third round when Gaethje started really landing on him and Chandler's leg was fucked? He's just walking at him straight upright with his hands down, walking at him, eating shots, telling him to, like, give me more. Dude, these guys are – Gaethje said it in the post-fight. These guys were, born in the wrong era. Yeah, like, they should have been, like, in, like, the fucking Coliseum, like, going to actual war, you know? Like, these guys are fucking savages. Did you see Chandler walking out of the cage?
No.
Walking back to the locker? He puts his arms up like Gladiator, screams, "Are you not entertained?" Fucking crazy.
That's amazing.
Face all bloody. Like,
goosebumps, dude. Goosebumps.
The dude is this. People give him shit because maybe they think he's corny or like he's too like clean cut and like something seems off about how political almost he is. I think he's just a good guy. The dude, and people coming into this, people were like, I don't know, he came from Bellator. He's had wars over there. He's lost a lot over there, right? He's had a few losses. I don't know if he's UFC caliber. Dude, in his 3 UFC fights, how can anybody not be a fan of Michael Chandler? And that's coming from someone who, going into this fight, was very much rooting for Gaethje, you know?
Yeah, but he's an entertainer, man. He puts it all out there. There's no denying it. And he's got the skill set, you know, and he's still going to be dancing in the top 5 probably for the next year or 2 years. So we're going to get some more fun fights. All right.
Yeah, but like you said, the lightweight division, I mean, you do Gaethje versus the winner of Poirier, Oliveira, right? They said they have something for Dariush. I wonder if Dariush is fighting Islam. I think that's probably going to happen. If as far as like Chandler goes, maybe he fights Rafael Dos Anjos.
Okay.
Because he's still there. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see him fight someone. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I would love to see him fight someone like Fiziev or Brad Riddell versus Chandler.
That'd be a lot of fun.
So much fun.
That'd be a lot of fun. All right. Yeah. Before that, we had Alex Pereira versus Andreas Michailidis.
Yeah. Hey, do you think Rogan was high on this guy coming into this fight?
Sound like he was.
I mean, he's been talking about this guy forever.
A lot of people were really high about this guy coming into the fight. And
not Izzy.
He delivered.
Yeah.
He absolutely
wasn't very high.
Yeah, probably not. Probably
a
not.
Very good debut. This card had good debuts where the fighters making their debut have to face early adversity and still come out on top.
Yep.
2 times, right? That first round went exactly how it needed to for Andreas. You know, and the first round went exactly like probably a lot of people. It's either going to go one way or the other. And this first round looked like it was going to be, oh no, this is going to be him getting smothered for this whole fight, probably. You know, takedown defense.
And you had the analysts saying that too. You know, this is a classic striker versus grappler matchup. They kept on pointing out the fact that Michailidis here was black belt in jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. And at first, Pereira looked like he had some decent takedown defense. But as soon as Michailidis lowered the grip and got him down to the ground, and like you said, I was like, oh, here we go.
This is going to be the story. But then, second round starts, and guess what? Unfortunately for Andreas, you start standing. Yeah. You have to get him down again.
Just
he wasn't able to.
An amazing jumping knee, man.
Dude, the way he sees opportunities, striking opportunities, the way he can take advantage of those opportunities is so good. I mean, he didn't showcase 80% of his arsenal in this fight, you know?
Do you think the UFC just skyrockets this guy?
No, I don't think so.
You think they take their time?
Well, no, he's a little bit older, so they're not going to take too much time. I think that's that's the last grappler he's going to face, though.
All right, so this guy was born in 87, it looks like, right? So he's what, 33?
34?
Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you're right.
34.
Maybe he doesn't have very much time left in the UFC here, so
well, I mean,
let's see what we could do.
He's just had a long career in kickboxing already. You know what I mean? I mean, this was his 5th UFC fight, right? So, or MMA fight. But yeah, I don't think he faces another grappler. I think this was the test, and he passed the test. And from here, it's fun, interesting matchups that favor him, and they're going to try to build the Izzy Pereira fight. That's what I would do if I was the UFC.
Heck yeah. Hey, but sometimes they do some. Oh, you know what? How about a Kevin Holland?
Oh, don't do that. I don't want to see that.
Why?
I think he knocks out Kevin Holland.
You think so?
I think so.
Ooh, that'd be a fun matchup.
Listen, dude, like this guy, striking wise, is so much higher level than 90% of the roster.
Well, it's like Izzy coming in.
It's different. I mean, yeah, it's like Izzy coming in. It's like Crow Cop going into Pride. It's like, I mean, this guy has the tools to make everybody else look pretty bad. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm looking forward to more fights from Alex Pereira. All right, man.
Me too.
Before that, we had Mr. Bobby Green versus Al Iaquinta. So we were talking earlier, your boy Bobby Green. We were talking earlier about somebody that has the ability to roll with the punches, right?
Yeah, dude, his shoulder roll is the best shoulder roll in mixed martial arts. It's not a technique that really works without boxing gloves. I mean, well, it works, but it's much harder.
Yeah, and he has this style where he walks towards you with his hands so low.
Yeah,
so so it just, if you're on the other end, you're like, oh, well, let me go ahead and take a couple shots because he's wide open right now. And then, boom, bounce off the shoulder.
Man.
Or
his slips and rips.
Oh,
my God.
He just turns away from the shot at the perfect time so that there's no impact.
Yep. He
just
rolls
fantastic
with shots.
Defense. Fantastic defense by Bobby Green.
Fantastic defense, and he's perfected the style for MMA because his counters off of that defense are fantastic. The way he throws from the hip, and they're not looping shots. They still throw straight shots from the hip. They come at such an angle. I mean, look at that, dude. The 1-2 he landed to put him away was so fast, and it was in the exchange, in the middle of switching stances. The dude is so good. I'm so happy that he's getting the wins that he is capable of, and like getting the kind of the shine that he deserves because it's been a long career. He's not young.
And so for laquinta, we had a loss against Cerrone, and then a loss against Dan Hooker back in 2019. So almost 2 years since we had seen laquinta come in, and he gets a tough matchup against Bobby Green.
Going into this one, looking at the odds, I was and George had Al on his parlay, right? I was like, man, I would not touch that because that kind of a layoff is hard for anybody. That kind of a layoff to come in and fight someone with the style of Bobby Green.
Mm-hmm.
What a tough task.
Yep.
Imagine you come in and you haven't really had the success in the cage, so you're like, maybe you're not sure yourself, and every time you're swinging, you're just whiffing. Yeah, and you just can't touch the guy, and you're like, God damn, dude, am I not good at this anymore? And then you just get ripped. Like,
I mean, I heard he's good at selling houses in New Jersey.
Yeah,
in his real estate business. But yeah, man, Bobby Green when's the last time has Bobby Green ever broken into top 15?
Yeah, he was in the top 15
right?
for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at 155, what's next for him?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is coming off the loss to Fiziev. Fiziev got the ranking, I think, from Bobby when he beat him. That was an interesting decision, right? That fight. We know how I felt about that. But yeah, this is after you fight laquinta, you in my opinion, you're now fighting someone back in the top 15. You give him someone like Thiago Moises, Diego Ferreira, maybe.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah. I don't think you jump the line. I think Fiziev is fighting Riddell. Is that still happening?
Oh, let me see.
Maybe you go him versus Arman Saryukian. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I think Moises, that's the move. That's what I would do.
All right. Now,
logjam in that division, man.
For sure. Before that, we had Chris Curtis. I believe this was his debut, right?
Yeah.
Versus Phil Hawes. Dude, I feel like we've seen Chris Curtis before. Where did we see him?
Contender Series?
That's probably what it was. Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. But he looked very familiar.
Yeah, he lost his Contender Series fight. He fought in the PFL. I know he won. He did win his Contender Series. Yeah, he had that 3-round the hook kick. But he didn't get the contract. So yeah, tough. But I mean, he's put on a 5-fight win streak to get back into the UFC, and took a scary opponent.
Oh, looking dude, like Phil Hawes, no joke.
Yeah, looking like the middleweight Randleman with the dyed hair, just jacked.
He reminded me more of Cisco. You know, you remember that singer back in the day? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But dude, Phil Hawes has a lot of power, and he was one of the largest favorites too coming into this card. I want to say it was like minus 400, minus 300, something like that. But it was a big differential there. And so
HLB Comer, pressing F, pay respect.
But yes, I'm.
And after that first round, you look at the odds and you're like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
like these are pretty good odds. And dude, I mean, and this is why the sport is the greatest.
Yeah, somebody didn't tell Curtis he was supposed to lose.
Yeah, dude, the hook that he lands on him and the knee to the body that shut him off. Oh my God, dude! Talk about taking advantage of the moment and recognizing it and being an absolute finisher. He didn't headhunt. He throws that knee through his chest. That was so nasty. And then you see Curtis Phil Hawes just completely shut down, fall off to the side. It kind of reminded me of Nick Diaz versus Paul Daly in Strikeforce.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When he finally finishes him, just tosses him off to the side, and he like stumbles off to the side. Crazy, man.
Yep.
But I mean, so happy for him, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Happy for Curtis because it's not like there was another person that had their debut, Ian Garry. We'll talk about later. Where Ian Garry now moved 8-0. Chris Curtis now moved 27-8. So this is somebody that's been grinding, man, to make it to the UFC. You could tell that they were extremely excited about being in the octagon and taking it all in. And his celebration at the end, he goes and talks to the announcers and the commentators. And dude, it was just it was a fun sight.
Did you hear him in the post-fight press conference type thing?
I missed the press conference, man. I didn't get home till like 1:30 last night. I was like, man, I'm not about to stay up and watch the press conference.
Dude, he's talking about. I feel bad that he once again on this card, he's not going to get a bonus for that. On another card, he might. biggest upset on the card. Finished him after being clearly outmatched in the first round. He's talking about how he's like, Dana, please, need that 50 G's. I am hilariously broke right now.
Hilariously broke, he said.
Yeah.
Wow. And Dana's like, nah, bro.
He's like,
that'll kill my budget.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me give it to the guys on the main card instead.
We have the guys that made over 300.
The guys that make the money.
300 grand today. But we had Imavov versus Shahbazyan before that. Now Shahbazyan, man, correct me if I'm wrong. He did go 11-0, right?
Yep. Coming into the UFC, massive prospect.
Massive. And goes up against the Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, and now Imavov. And so he's on a 3-fight skid right now. 3-fight skid. Hey, do you know what's wrong with this rib, by the way? Or is that just how he was?
I think that's just...
That was
you know what's wrong with his rib? I think that's just how his rib cage is formed.
We were looking at that yesterday and we're like, dude, that thing is jacked up, man. It looks like he's broken that rib like 10 times.
Do you remember, I want to say it was an Aussie fighter back in the day. What the hell was his name? Soteropoulos, maybe? Something like that?
Hip Hop Anonymous?
Do you remember that guy?
No. I don't.
So Soteropoulos, yeah, dude, this guy freaked me out when I used to watch him fight back in the day.
Why? Were his ribs all jacked up too?
Yeah, very strange upper body.
I'll
very
look it up.
Yeah, almost looks like Frankenstein.
What was his name again?
George Soteropoulos.
Soteropoulos.
Yeah, I mean he was like a he never I don't think he ever fought for the belt or anything like that, but I mean he fought guys like Ross Pearson, Dos Anjos, Lozon, Kurt Pellegrino, Joe Daddy Stevenson, a win over Joe Daddy Stevenson, Shinya Aoki. I mean, Kyle Noak, he was in there. He was good.
Yeah. All right. I'll look him up then. But back to Imavov versus Shahbazyan. Dude, Imavov.
Over there?
We're just talking about somebody that's a good prospect. Imavov's looking really, really good, man.
Sharp.
Very
sharp. Yeah.
And
dude, the killer instinct, taking advantage of the moment, and just, dude, the way he slipped into crucifix position was so sneaky because he's threatening with other things that Shahbazyan doesn't even realize that he's getting lined up for the crucifix, and then he slips right over, and it's like, oh, it's over. You don't get out of that position.
And Imavov's out of France, right? Trains with Cyril Gane.
Yep.
Dude,
formerly trained with Ngannou.
That camp, man.
Did you see what happened backstage?
No, who's fighting?
That camp? No,
was it Hasbulla again?
No, it wasn't a fight. It was their whole team, right? I can't remember the coach's name, the guy that had the falling out with Ngannou. But it's Cyril Gane's right in his corner, head coach, and Imavov, and they're all standing around in the lobby after his fight and stuff. And Francis Ngannou's entering the arena, and he's walking by. It's like, oh, Francis, and then they turn, and it's the team, and they're looking at him about to say what's up, and Francis just straight up cold shoulders them. Doesn't even look over to him, just walks right by, hugs somebody else, just keeps walking. And the camera turns back to the team, and they're just looking at each other what the fuck was that? Dude, we came up with that guy. And I get it, right?
Man.
He's going to be fighting Cyril Gane, but
people change, dude.
Yeah.
The fame and money. People change. Yeah. All right. Anything else on that fight? I know we wanted to touch on a couple last ones quickly here.
Yeah. Not much. Just Imavov is I mean, the guy is legit. He is so legit. His Ian Heinisch fight was crazy. I'm very excited to see what he does from here.
All right. Before that, we had Ian Garry versus Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams, fresh from fighting that dude that tried to steal his car.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Hey, tough first round for Ian Garry.
Very tough.
Tough first round. He was getting lit up.
Well, Jordan Williams was doing this thing where he was blitzing in with the left straight, and then he was following right after that with the left hook.
Yeah.
And he did it. Yep. But exploding towards him, right? To close the distance. Because Garry wasn't moving left and right. He was moving straight back. That. Right there.
And that's what happens.
Yep. And that's what happens. Great timing on that picture, Rich. But then after a while, Garry starts getting used to it. Dude, and at this level, man.
Yeah.
If you have a good corner behind you, if you're at a good camp, you're going to be able to make adjustments mid-fight, And guess what? Garry made the read. He saw that he went in with the straight left, tried to come back with that left hook, and he countered it perfectly, man.
Yeah. Just
almost like he knew it was coming.
Right and throws the right straight. Just
it was
completely
beautiful.
Yeah, and there it is.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like the two things that like really solidify you as like a veteran and like next level, like you said, making adjustments mid-fight, and also staying disciplined enough when you're succeeding to not start getting careless and sloppy. And that's Jordan Williams, I think, in this moment, kind of threw it a little bit more sloppy because he's having so much success with it. Kind of was reaching a little bit more this one. And yeah, Ian Garry just completely took advantage of the opportunity. This is a pretty big hyped debut.
Yeah, man. So taking a look at Jordan Williams here, 3 fights in the UFC, 3 losses.
But look at who he's fought, dude.
Imavov, Mickey Gall, and Ian Garry, right? So
tough go though.
Tough go.
Imavov in your first fight.
Oh, that's rough.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I don't know what the UFC does. Hopefully, he gets another fight in. Jordan Williams.
He looked like he made pretty significant improvements.
He's with a new camp now. He was excited to come in and show what he's worked on, and you can see some of the improvements, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm hoping he gets one more fight in there. And God, the personality that Garry had at the end with the post-fight interview.
Yeah,
dude, what is it about these Irishmen that come in and just have the gift of gab, man? The gift of gab.
They really do, man. Yeah, they really do.
It's crazy.
Feel bad for him.
Just us in the United States. They're just like, meh, you know?
Yeah.
So you have somebody
like
shit
talking.
It's Paddy the Batty, you know, coming out of the UK and
Liverpool.
You know, yeah, dude, it's just I don't know.
Let's have them fight, eh?
The what?
Let's have them fight.
Who, Paddy the Batty?
Yeah, and Ian Garry.
Hey, man, let's not do that.
It's a different weight class.
Let's not do that. All right. Speaking of different weight class, perfect segue.
Very different weight class.
Yes. We had Chris Barnett versus Gian Villante going into this one now.
I feel for old Dollar Store Tom Hardy, you know?
Dollar Store Tom Hardy. great value Tom Hardy, yes.
Yeah.
But dude, all right, what did he fight at 185 before? We were talking about this, right? Was it 185 or 205?
Both.
So he started at 185,
went
up to 205, and was like, look, I just don't want to stop eating. And let's try heavyweight.
Yeah. The dude is hilarious.
Yeah.
One of the best personalities, honestly.
Yeah, Chris Barnett coming in dancing with all that energy. People don't realize.
Both of them, honestly, personality, yeah.
Just how athletic Chris Barnett is. If you don't know Chris Barnett and you haven't seen his walkouts before, his celebration dances, you know, or just the way that he moves in the octagon in general, then you would have been shocked.
Yeah.
Because
I think a lot of people were shocked on this one.
Came in dancing, right? And everybody's like, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of, you know what? He had energy to spare, man. He had energy to spare. What did you think of this fight, though?
Villante wins the first round, right? That's what he needs to do. Second round just gets caught, man. That wheel kick was perfect. Caught him right above the ear with the heel. He said his foot was on fire. He couldn't feel his foot anymore after that. I mean, that's a hard shot to a hard part of the head. Man.
Dude, that's it almost looks like he's in the middle of like a capoeira move. You know what I mean? Like just he looks so graceful.
I know. Yeah, Villante went down. I thought, hot take, pretty good recovery from Villante considering the shot he ate. I think if it wasn't as flashy as a kick, I don't know if it gets stopped when it gets stopped. I thought Villante was fine. Thought he was fine. Well, I think the kick was so crazy that it's okay that they handed it almost because that deserves a finish, right? But Villante was getting up.
Yeah, who was it? Miragliotta?
I think it was Dan.
Miragliotta, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know because it's kind of hard to say. I've been trying to take a step back a lot more and just think about, man, what if I were in there in the middle of it, you know, and I see that happen. I see Villante drop down like that. Barnett start jumping on him, you know,
he's covering up in turtle, right?
Yep. It's just a bang bang situation. Bang bang.
Oh yeah.
Bang baseball.
I'm not saying it was a terrible stoppage. I'm just saying I think Villante was fine.
Yeah. You know, he was probably better before he got his face wheel kicked off.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look at him there. He's not fine there.
It's like peeking over at him out of the corner of his eye. And then
Yeah.
the celebration by Barnett at the end again just
I know. And
looks like one of the
act.
funnest guys. Looks like one of the funnest guys. You know, get this guy with Bam Bam Tuivasa together. Let's just go party, dude. Let's just go party.
Dude,
you know?
The class act in the post-fight interview too. Villante's last fight in the UFC, right? He's retiring. And just like, dude, this was the prelims. This is what, the fourth fight on the whole card? Not a lot of people there. And he got it loud. Hyped up the crowd. Not just for the performance, the wheel kick or anything like that, but when he's like trying to get the crowd crazy to support Villante, right? Villante, that's his backyard, you know?
Yeah.
It's Matt Serra, like Longo, Chris Weidman, that whole team. Yeah, look at that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's go through a couple last things here. So performance of the night bonuses, and then of course the canceled fights, man. Moment of silence.
Yeah. Performance of the night, right? Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera. Cheetah Vera gets a front kick knockout, gets 50 grand. Fight of the night, obviously, Gaethje versus Chandler.
I mean, come on.
50 grand each. Probably got a little bit more than 50 grand each, if I'm being honest. They probably got
Dana should have just thrown stacks of money inside the octagon as soon as that last, bell was over. All right.
Yeah. Alex Pereira got a performance of the night for the flying knee knockout. Bobby Green gets one. Pretty great. Happy for the man. Chris Barnett obviously gets one for the heavyweight wheel kick knockout.
And for the dancing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Moment of silence. Aldana versus Jermaine Durandame could have been a fun fight. The big one, though, sure. Sean Strickland versus Luke Rockhold.
Rockhold herniated disc.
Yeah. I don't know if he ever comes back.
Dude, if you're him, why don't you just stick to modeling? You know? Make some money that way.
The problem is, here's the reality. A lot of handsome people out there. A lot of models. Rockhold became a model because of his stature in the UFC. That starts to go away. I think modeling opportunities probably go away too.
You think so?
Bro, how many handsome guys are there?
You think Ralph Lauren was like, hey, you're getting punched in the face? Come tell people to buy our cologne?
No, but I think he was like a celebrity, right? He's the champ, you know? He was the champ.
Yeah.
When's the last time he won a fight?
No, dude, I get it. I get it. You know who else is the champ? Charles Oliveira, dude. And we don't see anybody wanting him to sell any fucking cologne, dude. You know who else is the champ? Robert Teixeira. Nobody's going to get him knocking at his door to walk down any runways or any catways, whatever you call it. Catwalks.
Catways.
Whatever you want to call it, dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
bet they will.
Glover.
That smile? That Glover smile? Come on.
We just see him like with a suit coming out your face throwing cologne. Hey, dude, I'll buy some.
Like a mesh tank top.
Glover.
Yeah, Glover.
Dude. All right. Do you have anything else?
No. Fantastic fight card. Absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Thank you
shout
everybody
out
for being in the chat.
Canelo. Shout out to Canelo. Amazing fight last night.
Shout out to Dana watching Canelo fight during Thug Rose's fight.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Dana White is a fan. He could say whatever he wants.
100 grand on Canelo.
But he loves boxing. He loves boxing.
He bet 100 grand.
Dude, Canelo just surgical. Working the body. And as soon as Plant started reacting to Canelo's left hook to the body, then the left hook up top opened up, and he kept on hitting that repeatedly, and finally it was just too much for Caleb Plant, man. So, but it was a great fight too.
Definitely. Pretty damn good defense from Caleb Plant throughout the fight. Yeah,
for sure, man. You know, there's some folks that were saying it was going to be over a lot sooner than it actually was. So I know it wasn't the outcome that Caleb Plant wanted, but you know what, dude? You survived in there against who some consider to be the best boxer ever. I don't know, man.
He's not the best ever, but he might be the best current.
Some people consider him the best.
No,
best
yeah,
ever.
Definitely.
All right. Next up, we have UFC Fight Night coming up on the 13th, where it's Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez, La Pantera.
Oh, okay.
We have Ben Rothwell versus Rogelio, La Pantera. Marcos Rogelio de Lima, Philip Lins, Oven St. Preux, Felicia Spencer, Leah Letson, Song Yadong, again, the best name in the UFC, versus Julio Arce. We got some fun fights, man.
Ooh,
Kyle Dawkins
bro,
is going to be in there.
The lead versus Dawkins. Sean Woodson coming back. Sean Woodson's so good.
Oh, that's a guy that's like a toothpick and really lanky, right?
He looks like a spider, man. Like that guy's terrifying.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
fantastic fight. Oh, Thiago Moises is fighting. So you can't. Maybe he wins that fight, and you go Bobby Green Moises.
Why not? You have Nzechukwu. He's coming back.
Young.
His last couple fights, man,
Bro.
have been bangers.
You see the next one though?
Chaos Williams
versus
Miguel Baeza.
Oh my god! Talk about trial by fire for Baeza.
This
Jesus
card
Christ.
is pretty stacked.
Yeah, it's really good.
You got Cynthia.
Baeza had that. Baeza had that fight of the year contender fight against Ponzinibbio his last outing.
Dude, this is gonna be a good card.
Yeah,
this
very good card.
All right, man. That's all I got. You got anything else, Will?
No, thank you, everybody. Oh, also next weekend, Saturday, shout out Toasty. He's gonna have his first fight.
Oh, next 13th. Saturday already? We'll
Yep.
cover the results.
Definitely.
If they were good. If not, we'll give them a shout out. I don't know. Thank you to all those folks that have followed us on Spotify, Breaker Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you to those folks that support us on YouTube as well. To those that show up week in and week out to the MMA Church, the Story of the Fight every Sunday. Big thanks. It makes it so much fun whenever everybody's interacting. So thank you. And then social media, if you want to find us.
Yeah. Story of the Fight, Instagram, Twitter. Story of the Fight chat on Facebook. Shout out Sansan. Shout out HW Comer. Shout out For the Win MMA. Shout out Toasty. Shout out Coleslaw. Everybody.
And Ric Flair. Ric Flair hopped on.
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another week of Story of the Fight.